going on. If you need to know what is definitely going on, just make your point, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right here at Arsenal Diehards. So guess whom we're talking about? We're talking about Mykhailo Mudryk. But before we go any further, I will remember that there's been a tight race between in this transfer window. There's been a lot of competition for football players who have been playing quite a lot, and maybe possibly because of the World Cup. The World Cup triggered out a few football players. It brought out lots of talent, and possibly that's one of the big reasons as to why there's been tight competition. And what football players definitely displayed in the World Cup, that is one of the main reasons as to why it's been tight competition. But we're talking about Mykhailo Mudryk mainly. But before we go to Mykhailo Mudryk, we'll talk a little about Joao Felix. As you already know that Joao Felix is out of the picture. Joao Felix has definitely been signed by Chelsea, and that is something that is a bit I don't know how I can call it, but Arsenal had interests. Arsenal had a lot of interest, big interest in Joao Felix, and they had to contact the management at Atletico Madrid, and things didn't go on quite well for them, because when you look at it, at how much he was worth, the amount of money was insane. So Manchester United and Arsenal definitely had to pull out. It was mainly three clubs that were very interested in this gentleman, mainly Manchester United, Arsenal and Chelsea. But Chelsea definitely came out as the winners in all this, and they definitely had to take this. They were at a better advantage. They were definitely at a bigger advantage, and they had the cash, they had the money to invest in, because when you look at that figure, the figure is definitely too big for a short period of time, with no option of buying. That definitely could not go on quite well for any other club apart from Chelsea, who are trying to also make sure they can get their team in a better position. But at first, if you've been following me, you can realize that I said a few things about this transfer at first. If you can remember, I said Joao Felix is not fit for. Anyway, he's a good football player. I must say he's a nice football player, wonderful football player. But he was not one to be at the club, because the amount of money that Atletico Madrid were asking was quite a lot for the team to bear in. How are you? You okay?
What's this for?
Which team do you support?
Arsenal.
Are you support Arsenal?
Are you Arsenal?
Yeah. This is an Arsenal thing. Yeah.
My thoughts on Andrew Tate is that he is the best. Stay blessed. Love you.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you heard of Mykhailo Mudryk?
Oh, yes.
What do you think about Mykhailo Mudryk?
He's a beast. He's good. He's a bit like Bill Clinton. You know Bill Clinton?
Yeah.
He's a bit like Iran's the new Prime Minister. The way he plays. Yeah, LA, stay blessed.
Okay, no worries. So, where do you see yourself in possibly
where do
the
I
end
see
of
myself?
the season? At the end of the season, do you think Arsenal is going to sustain it until the end of the season?
Probably in the middle of Dingle, to be honest. You know
pardon?
what I mean? In the middle of Dingle.
But there is still chance. Possibly if they use this general transfer window well, possibly you could stay on top of the table, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, if they win, they'll end up in the middle of town. But if they don't, they'll end up in Halifax or so bang.
Yeah, you have to break the bank and do that, don't you?
Exactly. What's your channel?
Arsenal Diehards.
Awesome. Stay blessed.
Okay, no worries.
Can you say I love Andrew Tate?
What's your name?
Dominic Karakush.
Tom. Okay.
Love Andrew Tate. Stay.
Nice. Otherwise, thank you for being part. Thank you for being part of this podcast. As we're talking about Mykhailo Mudryk and him joining the club, is great news coming in as Mykhailo Mudryk is almost everything is set for him joining the club. We'll be bringing it to you more as we have been talking about Joao Felix, and actually Joao Felix, who is definitely a wonderful football player. He is a great football player, but Arsenal have definitely had that blow. They have definitely not had him, as Chelsea has finalized this transfer, and we definitely have to say goodbye. It's an official goodbye to him. He will be possibly playing against Arsenal, not for Arsenal. So let us know what you think in the comment section, so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you. As long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, we are definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right about here. As you already know, as you definitely know, that things have been going on quite well for the club, seeing the position that it is in, seeing the position being in the first position, which is not an easy thing to maintain the number one position for such a long period of time with 21 games that are left. That definitely means reinforcement is definitely needed. Much more options are needed at the club so that possibly the Premier League table can be Arsenal can be on top of the Premier League table by the end of the season. That is definitely what I think should be done. More reinforcement, actually reinforcement is what is definitely needed, and if it's done, things will definitely be going on quite well for the club. Let us know still where you're watching from, which parts of the world you're watching from, and make your subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. So we need to dig deep into the Joao Felix. I think we can leave Joao Felix for that, because I think we can leave Joao Felix out of this because he is no longer available. He's definitely no longer available after Chelsea have sealed that deal. We can talk a little bit about Youri Tielemans before we go to Joao Felix. Still not Joao Felix, Mykhailo Mudryk. So this gentleman, Youri Tielemans, who is a Leicester City football player, has been playing quite well for a long period of time. He's been playing brilliantly. He's been playing quite well, and things have definitely been going on quite well. And when you look at how they have been playing, when you look at how they have been playing, when you look at how the squad has been playing. Leicester City, I mean, when you look at how Leicester City has been playing, they've been playing, there's something lacking in there, and I don't think he's definitely happy about it. He's also looking at a move. So before, there were no chances of Arsenal signing him, as everything was definitely quite close. They were not talking about him. Nothing was really going on about this transfer, but it has come out as a possibility for the club to sign him, and that is quite great. That is definitely a great thing. That's a great one. So if the club come and sign him, that will definitely be a brilliant move. It will definitely be a wonderful one. So let us know what you think in the comment section, so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sport and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest, as we are talking about the one and only Mykhailo Mudryk, but a little bit about the Leicester football star Youri Tielemans. Youri Tielemans was linked quite a lot. He was heavily linked to Arsenal in the summer transfer window, and I didn't go on quite well in the summer transfer window, as the technical director of Arsenal, Mr. Edu Gaspar, tried his level best to make sure that he can get this transfer done in the summer transfer window, but it didn't go as planned. It didn't go quite well. Didn't go on quite well. So I think possibly there is still a bit of chance for Youri Tielemans getting to the club. If Youri Tielemans gets to the club, midfield will definitely be sorted. You will remember that Mikel Arteta came out and said a few things about his club, about Arsenal. He came out and said he lacks depth. He said he definitely lacks depth. He's out of options, as the options that are currently available at the club are not enough. So I think it will be a better thing, because if they look at a few more football players, football players like Declan Rice, who's also been linked to the club, who's also played quite well before. He played definitely very well. So he's been linked to the club, and still there are more possibilities of him joining the club. When you still look, when you see how they have been playing, when you see how this club has definitely been playing, they have been playing brilliantly, they have definitely been playing well, but it's not to the last expectation that what we expect, what Arsenal are eyeing right about now. Arsenal are trying to make sure that they can get the Premier League title, but is it just a possibility, or it is something that is achievable? Is it achievable, or it's going to be quite complicated? This is the time to get things right, get in more football players, and Mykhailo Arteta was backed by Josh Karionke and Stan Karionke about this January transfer window. Then they have said, let him identify the football players he needs, and possibly, definitely, they will go on and inject in the amount of money that is definitely needed. So if they are willing to inject in as much money as is needed, and this also comes down to Mykhailo Arteta to make the right decisions. But we cannot question his decisions, because when it was in the summer transfer window, he made a few decisions, and we can definitely say that Mykhailo Arteta's decisions were the right ones. He got brilliant players. He got Gabriel Jesus from Manchester City, and Gabriel Jesus came to the club and played quite well. He's been playing very well until of recent, when he picked up an injury. Then looking at Alexander Zinchenko, he also has definitely been playing well. Then going to Marquinhos, the young Brazilian superstar, who's also been playing very well, a brilliant superstar, brilliant football player who's been playing brilliantly, also came out and definitely showed quite a lot of talent. He showed a lot of talent, and it will be remembered that Arsenal were looking at selling Marquinhos, but it didn't go on quite well, as maybe I think it's on their advantage. But Marquinhos, when he's been given a chance to play, he's always come out and played very well, and this has made it a little bit complicated for the club to sell him. They think possibly they could keep him for some time. He could help out the club here and there, but undoubtedly he is a wonderful one. He's a great football player. But another thing again to talk about before we go to the Mykhailo Mudryk transfer is the game against against Newcastle at House side. So again, the game that Arsenal had against Newcastle brought out quite a lot, and it also showed that Arsenal are not in the best of positions and need to use this January transfer window quite well to make sure that they get more options, they get more football players. I mean, if there are 2 or 3 injured football players in the main squad, that definitely means that it will be quite complicated. It will be difficult for the club. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. It will definitely be quite complicated if one defender, one midfielder, and the striker, and maybe 2 midfielders and the striker, one striker, get injuries. That definitely means that the club will just go way down, and that's why more options definitely are needed. You cannot sit down and rely on Edin Ketia. Edin Ketia is still a young football player, quite good. He's a good one, but not as experienced, just not that good that he will lead the club to victory. So I think something definitely needs to be done in this January transfer window. So the game that happened between Newcastle United and Arsenal also brought quite a lot, and Mykhailo Arteta was not happy about the game and wasn't happy about the performance of the players, but also he said he lacks options, and he needs more options. And he was backed by Stan and Josh Karionke about this general transfer window, about them making sure that possibly they can do a few more things up in this general transfer window. So let us know what you think in the comment section, so you don't miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right here. So we'll remember that Gabriel Jesus, the Brazilian superstar, also has been out of the game for some time now. He got an injury which possibly will last 3 months, as they say, but according to other sources say that possibly could be even more than 3 months. So if it is more than 3 months, even 3 months, it's quite a long period of time. 21 games that need to be played, and those 21 games do not actually need to be played, but need to be won. There's a difference between just playing a game and winning it, and this means that Gabriel Jesus is not going to be part of the squad for quite a long period of time. 21 games to play and he is out of the squad. A perfect replacement is something that the club should be looking at, and if they get the perfect players, if they get the right players, and then it will just be a good run for the club. It will definitely be a wonderful and a good run for the club. So you can let us know what you think about Gabriel Jesus, and make a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right about here. So still talking about Mykhailo Mudryk, talking about this transfer. Let us know what you think about Mykhailo Mudryk and him joining the club, whether you think it is the best thing to do, or whether it is not the best thing to do. Let us know, go in the comment section, and you let us know what you definitely think, as we will be digging deep into this later. But so for now, we need to see who is possibly going to be leaving the club, and who is linked to an Arsenal exit. So Cedric Soares is one that is definitely going to be leaving the club. Rumors it's not yet 100% confirmed, but it is around 90% confirmed that he'll most likely going to be leaving the club. He's most likely going to be leaving the club. Cedric Soares, who is a great football player, but the club can also get a little bit more money and possibly add on and make sure that they can balance their books and get a wonderful football player, another football player. Another football player that has been linked to an exit of the club is Bukayo Saka, who was linked to Manchester City. Manchester City came out and said they needed Bukayo Saka, and they were willing to give him as much money as they wanted. However, even though they said this, Bukayo Saka is a wonderful one. He's a great football player, but I don't think he is looking at leaving the club. When the management at Arsenal had this, when management at Arsenal had that Bukayo Saka is being given quite a lot of money, they said now they need to put something in his contract, make sure that he extends his contract, make him comfortable, and he is also a great one. You're back. You want?
No, that's me. You need to follow. Do you have TikTok?
Yeah.
17 minutes.
Yeah.
Are you posting all of it?
Yeah. You'll be live in a minute. So, is that you?
Yeah, this is me.
Okay. Can do a search.
Oh, you did that. This TikTok.
That's TikTok.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me show you. Don't mention this, but that's mine. Okay. That's my. Don't mention it on air. Okay. I said don't mention it on air.
I mean.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for being part of this podcast, and make your point, subscribe. Oh, sorry.
No, don't worry. Yeah.
So you get.
Oh yeah, that's you.
That's my account.
Is it?
Yeah, I manage that. Quite a lot.
Oh, you manage it?
Yeah.
That's sick, that lad. Yeah, man. Collab soon.
Yeah. So you followed, so I can get you. Can't touch.
Followed.
I think that's how I'll get it. I'll see
I'll
who's
message
followed.
you.
Yeah, in fact, if you can, I don't know whether I think I blocked the messages, but
Oh yeah, you have.
too many people.
Yeah, man. But don't worry. It's got a lot of followers.
Yeah, a lot of followers, aren't they? Yes, you type it in there.
So I reckon this one will go viral. This video.
Yeah, definitely we'll be having a lot of people watching
I'll
it.
put it on my story and that for you. I'll get it round. I'll make a TikTok on it. Make sure you comment in it.
Okay.
Safe, bro. Stay
Okay,
blessed.
niceness.
Safe, bro. Take it easy. Big shout out to Josh McCartney here on it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for being part of this, and make your post, subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sported, as long as it is just not related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right about here. So we're talking about what's definitely going to be happening, and we're talking about Mykhailo, Mudryk, and the general transfer window, stuff like that. So we're still talking a little bit about the club and what possibly the club needs to do to make sure that they can get this gentleman, possibly make sure that they can stay at the top of the Premier League, and make a point to make sure that they can possibly stay at the top of the Premier League. So you can let us know still what you think in the comment section, so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. So again, looking at the position that Arsenal is in, it's not the number one position. Is of course there is quite a lot of competition. There's definitely big competition. That's why the general transfer window is definitely needed to be used as a big tool for them, because when you look at let me see, possibly when you look at the clubs that are just below Arsenal, when you look at Man City, you look at Newcastle United, then you look at when you look at Man City, look at Newcastle United, which team is down there, then Manchester United. Definitely there is quite a lot of competition. There is big competition in there. There is definitely big, massive competition. There is a lot of competition in there. So that definitely means that a lot has to be done. A lot has to be done in this general transfer window. Looking at how, let's see each club. For Man City, Man City definitely has always made it quite easy. It shows that it has always showed that there is no competition in the Premier League, because just always being at the top all the time. Definitely a club had to step up, and that's Arsenal. Arsenal had to step up and say, no, you're not going to enjoy that all the time. There must be a bit of competition in here, and that is what definitely came out, and it's been going on quite well. It's definitely been going on very, very well. So let us know what you think in the comment section, so you do not miss out on whatever I've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports, and as long as it is Arsenal related. So Man City has always made it a bit not Man City Arsenal related. Man City has always been at the top with good players, and it has, when you see how it's been, there's not been big competition for them until now, and right about now I think they can see a lot of competition, because they are not in the first position. And when you see who is below them and just down, when we talk about the top four clubs, when you talk about Arsenal being in the first position, that definitely is a bit complicated for them. They are not taking it quite easy. They are definitely not taking it quite easy. So let us know what you think in the comment section, so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right about here. So let's see, and leaving alone Man City, putting Man City aside, looking at Newcastle, when you see how Newcastle United has been playing, it's been playing okay. Ever since Eddie Howe took over Newcastle United, he's made a few signings. He's made quite a number of signings that definitely have been brilliant, have played quite well. Undoubtedly, Newcastle United has been on top. It's been a top club. It's been playing well. It's been playing very well with the likes of Kylian Trippier, who was also a transfer who went to Newcastle United and played quite well, played brilliantly. Bruno Gamla is also played brilliantly, and even those ones that they found there, likes of Joe Linton and stuff, all of them definitely are playing as a team. They are playing quite well. So it is a threat to Man City and also a threat to Arsenal. Those clubs have good players. They have better options, but they have depth. That's, if you can understand what I mean. They have depth. Definitely, they definitely have depth. Then looking at United, looking at Manchester United also. Manchester United being in the fourth position, also that gives you that you can quite understand that in the fourth position where it is, they have been playing brilliantly. Ever since Eric Ten Hag went to Manchester United, there has definitely been a restructuring of the club. They have tried to restructure the club, tried to make the club much better than it already is. Actually than it already was. So that also gives a bit of competition, quite a lot of competition, because it's 21 games that have to be played, and those 21 games that have to be played, lots of you can lose. If you lose a few games, that means you're definitely off. If other clubs keep winning and you lose a few games, that definitely means that you will definitely be off. So it is going to be quite challenging. It's going to be quite challenging, but it will be a good competitively. It's going to be massive. I think competitively it's going to be good. It's going to be quite good competitively. So you can let us know still what you think about the competition that is in there. As you know that in this general transfer window, lots of clubs are definitely going to be looking at reinforcement in there. So let us know what you think, as it is tight competition for football players. Arsenal is also saying you're not leaving me out. So I think we can get into the Mykhailo Mudryk transfer and talk more about the Mykhailo Mudryk transfer. It will be remembered that Mykhailo Mudryk has definitely joined the football players in Turkey, and before even that, it will be remembered that there was a bit of a tight competition for this gentleman, as Chelsea have been looking for it. I don't know why there is big competition between Chelsea. I don't know why there is big competition between Chelsea and Arsenal, as Joao Felix was a big possibility for Arsenal, very big possibility. He was heavily linked, but I didn't go on quite well. And now that the Joao Felix deal is sealed and confirmed, is definitely out of Joao Felix is definitely out of the picture. What is left for Arsenal? What is left for Arsenal? Is it going to be the same case with? Is it going to be the same case with Mykhailo Mudryk? I don't think so. So it will be remembered that Mykhailo Mudryk is a bit crazy when it comes to social media, and he pours out his heart. He always talks quite a lot. When it comes to social media. He talks, always chatting, always texting, stuff like that, always saying quite a lot about his life and stuff. So you will remember that he's been talking about him joining Arsenal, but Shakhtar Donetsk, where he's been playing, where he is, Shakhtar Donetsk, the management there also has always been trying to make sure they can get a little bit of more money, quite more money from this gentleman. And I think possibly as it stands per now, they have rejected quite a lot of offers from different clubs. As different clubs, for them, what they have said they need 88 million pounds. That's close to 100 million euros for this gentleman. But clubs have made offers. Different clubs have made offers, but they have rejected all these offers. They have definitely rejected all these offers. But the technical director, Mr. Edu Gaspar, had a one-on-one with the Shakhtar Donetsk management about them getting into talks, much more talks about this gentleman joining the club. But nothing positive has come out yet, but the possibility is definitely very, very high. As the player is definitely, the player is very interested. The player Mykhailo Mudryk is more than interested in joining the club. So it's been a bit of tight competition between Chelsea are looking forward to making sure that they can possibly sign this gentleman. They also are falling in for this gentleman, just as it was for Joao Felix. They won with Joao Felix, but I don't think they've got any chance. They do not have any chance for Mykhailo Mudryk. If you have been following, you can tell that Mykhailo Mudryk is an Arsenal fan. Leaving alone football, like the love of football and stuff like that, he is definitely an Arsenal fan, and he is one who likes Arsenal. He follows all the games that Arsenal plays. He likes the players at the club. He likes the management, and he likes the grounds and stuff like that. He always says a few things about the club. So it will be quite difficult. It will be very, very difficult for a club like Chelsea to come and take over this gentleman just like that. I think it's going to be difficult because he himself, what he's up to right about now is not money. It's about happiness for him. He wants to be in a good environment, an environment where he will definitely be happy to play, where he will come and play, where he will definitely be happy to play. So make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell. And as it stands, it's quite good news. It's definitely wonderful news. It's good news. So with him being heavily linked to the club, with him being heavily linked to Arsenal, where does this leave Arsenal? Arsenal need to make sure they make a very quick step forward. They need to make they need to make this next step on this transfer very quick, because there are football clubs that are willing to invest in a lot of money in this gentleman, and still, as you already know, that Arsenal is definitely always trying to make sure that they can get cheaper players but quite good players. He is not cheap. And when you see a few years ago, when we were talking about football 2 years ago, I bet very few people knew this gentleman. When we were talking about football, possibly even I think even in the summer transfer window, this gentleman, he out of Ukraine, he was definitely not known. He was not a big name out of Ukraine. But those who understood football in the Ukraine definitely were saying he is possibly the next Messi, or he could be the next Mbappe. And which is okay. He is a brilliant one. He's a great one. He's a great football player. He's a wonderful one. But still, when you see how he's been playing, if you have seen a few clips of him and how he's been doing his thing, how he's been playing, you can tell that he is a wonderful one, but he's not been known. And where does the 100 million come in? I think also social media has also hyped this gentleman quite a lot, with all those clips going on, with all those clubs creating a big demand for him. That's why Shakhtar Donetsk has also sat down and said, not really. We definitely are not going to be offering this gentleman at any cheaper price. We are not offering this gentleman at any lower price. So I think he was not known quite a lot. He was definitely not known quite a lot just a few years ago. When we're talking about maybe 3 years ago, he was not known. He was not known to the football world just until of recent. Just until this January transfer window. I must confirm that this January transfer window has got the best out of him, and everybody's wondering, why is Mykhailo Mudryk trending everywhere, and is he worth the 100 million euros that everybody's that Shakhtar Donetsk is requesting for? I think he is worth. When I've watched him, when I've seen him play, I think he's definitely worth. It's definitely worth him getting into this. Is worth the club injecting in such amount of money, because he is one of the next generation. He is one that you will buy now, and possibly after buying him, it will definitely mean that if you buy him, that will mean that he's going to play for the club for some time. He's going to be a part of the club for a very long period of time, and he will contribute quite a lot. The fact that he is definitely young, he is a young football player, but he is a brilliant football player, still young, and with quite a lot, with definitely quite a lot to offer. He's got quite a lot to offer. So I think it will be going on very well because just the period that is on for him, the fact that I think he's just only turned 22, if I'm not mistaken. I think he's just only 22. So if he can come and sign for something like 6 years, even if it's 4 years is definitely also enough. If he can sign for 4 years, that will definitely be quite great. That will be great because he will offer to the club quite a lot, and the possibilities of him joining are definitely quite high, as Mykhailo Mudryk likes such football players. Mykhailo Mudryk likes his football players quite young, and I think it's gonna be massive. I think it's going to be okay. Anyway, it's raining a bit here, so I think it's going to be a bit okay. I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to be it's definitely going to be all right. So let us know still what you think in the comment section, so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We definitely are dedicated to bring to you the latest right here as we're talking about the Shakhtar Donetsk football player Mudryk. Yeah, hello, you okay?
Hi, what are you doing?
Talking football. Do you support football?
Yeah.
Which club do you support?
Up the Reds. Love Liverpool. Up Liverpool. Liverpool. Up the Reds. Just a video. Up the Reds.
It will be live in a bit.
Please?
Oh, yeah, no worries. No worries.
Oh, reach so I want you back. We've conquered all of Europe. We're never gonna stop. From Paris down to Turkey. We've won the fucking law, but Paisley and Bill Shankly. I'll give you that.
No worries. So where do you see yourself in the possibly next season? Do you see yourself getting
I don't
higher?
care about football that much, but we're gonna win. We're gonna win the world. I don't know. What...
Anyway, thank you for being part. Thank you for being part of the podcast. And make sure you subscribe and ring that notification bell so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right about here. As we are talking about sports, we definitely are more than interested in knowing your opinion about the Shakhtar Donetsk football player, who is a brilliant one, who's been playing quite well. He's definitely been playing brilliantly. He's been playing very well, and as to why he's been linked to quite a number of clubs. So that's why very many clubs are interested in this gentleman. Very many clubs are looking at signing this gentleman. So it's going to be a brilliant one, as Arsenal stand in as the favorites in all this, as Arsenal could be the club that is possibly going to be taking this gentleman. So let us know still what you think as it turns pan out. We're still telling you about this gentleman and him saying that possibly he's been anyway, he liked an Instagram post saying that an Instagram post that was definitely saying that possibly he's being held captive. He's not being allowed out of the Ukraine Premier League, and he's looking at competition. He can't remain in the not in a bad way. I'm not saying the Ukraine Premier League is not a good one, but it is not as competitive as the English Premier League. The English Premier League is definitely very competitive. Even when you talk about La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A, anything, when you talk about those leagues, when you definitely talk about those leagues and you compare those leagues to the Premier League is definitely very competitive. We've seen football players who've come from those leagues, from the Bundesliga, from La Liga, and when they have reached to the Premier League, they found it quite different because it's definitely very, very, very competitive. So he's been saying that he's been saying that he needs a bit of competition for himself. He needs to make himself even much better, just not face the same football players all the time. He wants to show the world, he wants to shine, and it's time for him to shine. This is definitely the time for him to shine, and I think he can do it. I definitely think he can do it, because when you see how he's been playing brilliantly, he's been playing quite well, he's been playing okay. So still, as we talk, the football player is is currently in Turkey. He's in Turkey, sorting out some things, and he's with the Ukraine Premier League club. That's Shakhtar Donetsk, but he's definitely not happy there, and he's definitely pushing for in the Ukraine Premier League. He's pushing for a move to Arsenal, and he's saying he does not actually like being at Shakhtar Donetsk. He's looking at making a point to get that move, and the thing is, if it were only Arsenal that were interested in this gentleman, it would be quite easy. It would definitely be very easy for him, or actually for the club. But the mere fact that a lot of clubs have come in to claim the Shakhtar Donetsk football player, that also definitely means that a lot of competition has been created, and that's why the price is so high for this gentleman. 100 million euros, which is definitely a very big number. 100 million euros, quite big, very big, definitely. So I personally think, though it's big, possibly I would, if I were to rate Mykhailo Mudryk, he's a good football player, but I would say possibly £50 million. I think £50 million would be fair enough for him, but all this competition for him, possibly he could possibly be maybe the next Bukayo Saka or something. Possibly, maybe, who knows, maybe he will come and perform. But the mere fact that he's young, even if he's not the best of football players, when he gets into when he gets under the management of Mikel Arteta, he'll definitely have to perform. He will definitely perform, and I think it will be a great one. So with Gabriel Jesus, who is injured, more options are they're trying. Arsenal are definitely trying to make sure that they can get more options of signing this gentleman, more options, sign more football players. But the fact that also, so where is we need to talk about how possible is this move actually? How possible is this move? So the mere fact that Joao Felix is definitely out of the picture right about now, the fact that Joao Felix is no longer in the picture, that gives the club a bigger advantage. Because they're now concentrating on two football players. The concentration is right about now as we talk. The concentration is on Mykhailo Mudryk. Because when you see the £19 million that was being asked for Mykhailo Mudryk, the £19 million that was being asked. When you look at it, if Arsenal can add up their incomes and balance their books and possibly not concentrate on another football player, and for now just concentrate on Mykhailo Mudryk, they'll definitely get him quite easy. But it's not always quite easy for the club, Arsenal, when it comes to transfers. They always want to get football players at lower prices, good football players, young football players. Arsenal is not always interested in signing old football players. No, they always want to get young football players, develop them, and possibly they can make a little bit of money, or they can stay for quite a long period of time at the club, or they can possibly sell the football player. So let us still what you think about this gentleman. And I don't think he's one that because Arsenal is down. Arsenal definitely does that. So but I don't think that that is their aim with this gentleman. I don't think at all that that's their aim with this gentleman, that they are possibly going to get him and they groom him and sell him. No, I don't think, because he is a great one. He's got something to offer. He's definitely got a lot to offer to the club. He's got quite a lot to offer to the club. So I think it's going to be massive. I think it's going to be okay for them to get him, and he can come to the club and possibly make a big impact, score a few goals. But if they buy him at that 100 million euros that Shakhtar Donetsk is definitely asking, that will mean he has to perform. He definitely has to perform. It has to be given gameplay, because you cannot inject in such a big amount of money and the player is not performing, is actually at the bench. That's not something that the club should do. I don't think so. So I think once they get this done, once they get the player into the system, once they have secured the move, he should be given the gameplay that he deserves, and he will definitely perform. He will definitely perform. So whom do you see? Go into the comment section and let us know whom you definitely think, whom you think is going to be going onto the bench, because one of the reasons as to why Mykhailo Mudryk is himself is saying, I'm not interested going to Paris Saint-Germain, I'm not interested to going to Real Madrid, I'm not interested in going to Barcelona, I'm not interested in going to Chelsea. One of the big reasons is gameplay time. He wants gameplay time. He wants to play. He wants to be on the pitch. And when he looked at his options, because Paris Saint-Germain was interested in this gentleman, but when you look at Paris Saint-Germain, I mean, where is he going to play? Who's going to sit down so that he can play? It's going to be quite competitive. He's going to sit down most of the time. He's not going to be playing. He's going to have it rough on there. So that's a reason as to why, when he saw that there is a big possibility of him playing quite a lot when he comes to the club, he said Shakhtar Donetsk should leave him and he should join the club. So I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be a brilliant move. I think it's going to be a very wonderful move. You can possibly let us know what you think in the comment section. Do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring, as long as it is posted, as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right here. So you can let us know still. You can let us know still what you think in the comment sections. Do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is what Arsenal related. We definitely dedicated to bring to you. Still looking at the position where the club is still the best position. That's any club would like to be there. Any club would like to be in the first position. But now Arsenal is in the first position. The problem is, the question is how long is it going to stay on the number one position? Is he going to stay in the number one position for a long period of time, or is it going to be a short period of time? Is he going to stay in the number one position until the rest of the season, or it's going to be a bit complicated? It will be remembered that you should when you see the matches that Arsenal is going to play in the near future. Arsenal has Manchester City twice. Arsenal is going to play Manchester City twice, and you can't play Manchester City while you do not have Gabriel Jesus, while you do not have quite enough options in there. You're going to play Manchester City twice, so that's why more options are definitely needed. That's a big reason as to why more options are needed in this transfer. More options are needed in this general transfer window. So still, you can let us know what you think in the comment section, so that you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you. As long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related, we're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right here. So which part of the world are you watching from? Which part of the country are you watching from? I just make a point to subscribe and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. So more about the Shakhtar Donetsk football player and where he is right about now, and what he is up to, and what are the possibilities of the club signing him, and more stuff like that. We need to have a jazz. We need to talk more. We need to chill out and talk more about the Shakhtar Donetsk football players. He's making quite a lot of news. He's making a lot of news as people are talking about him. People are definitely talking about him. Everybody talking about the Shakhtar Donetsk football player. And what is the reality? What is the truth about this transfer? Is it achievable? Is it one that the club is going to? Is it one that the club is definitely going to be? Is he one that the club is going to invest in the money, or it is just a mere talk? If you need to know all this, just what you need to do is to subscribe, ring that notification bell, and make a point that we can always bring it to you straight live as it is, as we are talking about the Shakhtar Donetsk football player Mykhailo Mudryk, who is a wonderful one. He's a great talent. Undoubtedly, he is one of the best talents that are on the scene right about now. So once he is got to the club, once he's played maybe a few games, 2-3 games, maybe 10 games, that's when we will properly judge him and see whether it is worth whether it the money in him, or whether it was just a waste of time and money. But I don't think it's waste of time and money. I think the mere fact that he is still young, he's very young, he's a very young football player, a brilliant football player, a good football player. Young, if he comes, because anyway, he doesn't have that experience. That is the first thing. He's not that an experienced football player. When you compare him to the likes of Joao Felix, he could be a better football player, but he's not got that experience. And sometimes experience matters, but he can create the experience at the club. I could be a little bit challenging for him. He's not going to come and make an impact. He's not going to come and make an impact, an instant impact. He will need quite some time so that possibly he can be part. He can be part of the team. He can play with the team. Quite understand how the team plays. Quite understand. Gets much more used to the management over there. Gets much more used to Mykhailo and also possibly other football managers who are at the club, the coaches and stuff like that. Possibly he will need a little bit of time before possibly we can judge him and say he is or one to have, or he is one to leave. Is he one to have? He actually by that time possibly will be saying was it worth having him, or it wasn't worth having him. Still go in the comment section and let us know what you think in the comment section, so that you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We're definitely dedicated to bring to you the latest right about here, as we are talking about the Shakhtar domestic football player and his move to the great club, and that is Arsenal. We have talked about quite a lot in this, as we have talked about who is possibly leaving the club, who is not leaving the club. As I told you, I talked about Bukayo Saka, who's been playing quite well, and another person that I need to tell you before we conclude with Mykhailo Mudryk was Gabriel Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli's contract is definitely going to be. He's going to sign a new contract, and possibly some clubs are after him, but he's a very good one, and his contract, as to what we know per now, his contract could, when he signs his new contract with the club, it could see him being the most earning Arsenal player in the squad right about now. At the club, he will definitely be, once he signs it, because they are willing. Josh Carrionk and Stan Carrionk are willing to invest in as much money as he wants, possibly not as he wants, but good enough. It's going to be good enough money, as much money as he definitely wants. So I think once they invest in football players like that, if they secure Martinelli, Gabriel Martinelli, he's been linked to clubs. He's definitely been linked to very many clubs, but I think the club is not willing to let him go, and that's why they are saying they are willing to increase his wages to the most paid football player at the club, which is quite a brilliant move. It's definitely a very wonderful move. So again, who else has been linked to the club exit? I think those are the main football players that have been linked to an exit of the club, with mainly the main football players that have been linked to joining the club is Joao Felix, who has now an X on himself. We are not definitely talking about Joao Felix anymore, because he's left. He's not going to be part of the club. He's definitely not going to be part of the club because of a few reasons. Because the club has given up, actually, not actually even given up. It has no option, I must say. It has no option whatsoever. There is no option for them, because when you look at how Chelsea have handled it, Chelsea have taken the football player. He is no longer available. He is definitely no longer available. It's a done deal, sealed and confirmed for Chelsea. So he is out of the picture. So Yuri Tillmans now comes in as he comes in as possibly one that Arsenal is definitely eyeing at this point in time, and possibly they can have him. Undoubtedly, he is a good one. He is a very wonderful one. He's a good football player. There is no reason whatsoever as to why the club could not have him. The club is very interested in having him. So if they are willing, unlike the summer transfer window where people were saying possibly there is no chance of getting him, and it came true. But we thought that possibly the club could definitely have him, but it definitely did not. So let us know what you think. Let us know what you think in the comment section, as we are definitely going to be concluding with the Mykhailo Mudryk transfer, talking about Mykhailo Mudryk and his Arsenal transfer. Is it worth him, or it is definitely not worth? Let us know still now what you think in the comment section, so you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is as well related. So again, let's go to Mykhailo Mudryk. Let's go to Mykhailo Mudryk. That's how it's called, Mykhailo Mudryk. Yeah, so let's go to Mykhailo Mudryk and talk more about Mykhailo Mudryk as we wind up as Mykhailo Mudryk has always said, for Mykhailo Mudryk, the chances of him joining the club are definitely very high. Undoubtedly, one of the best football players, with no doubt. He is definitely a very good one. One of the best football players, a football player that is undoubtedly talented, a good one, still young. Age is definitely on his side, and that's why he is being eyed by different clubs, and he is turning down. Himself is turning down offers from clubs, and the club also is turning down offers from other clubs, because the club, his reason as to why he's turning down offers is because he does not want to play for them, not because they are offering a little money. But the reason as to why the club is turning down offers is because what other clubs are offering for this gentleman is not enough according to them. So he came out and definitely said he wants to leave Shakhtar. He wants to leave Shakhtar Donetsk, and that was quite a brilliant thing. That was a brilliant thing, because he needs to, if Mykhailo Mudryk needs to be a wonderful football player, one of the best football players, as it is claimed that he is one of the best young football players at the moment, as he was. At the moment, if it is claimed that he is one of the best. So if he wants to prove the world that he is one of the best, he can't just remain a Shakhtar Donetsk. There is no way a football player, a very wonderful football player, good football player, will remain a Shakhtar Donetsk. It's a good club, undoubtedly it's a wonderful club. It's just like you can compare it like possibly with Ajax. I mean, Ajax in the Eredivisie is a wonderful club, but there is no way you're going to get a football player and compare them to the best football players that the club has while they are still at the club. When these football players come from such leagues and go to bigger leagues and they shine, that's when you can definitely say that they are wonderful football players. They are the best football players. And you've seen that with a few players who've come from the Eredivisie, from Ajax Amsterdam. They've definitely come and performed. But once they were there, little was known about them when they were playing for Ajax Amsterdam. But right about now, I think it's going to be massive. I think it's going to be okay. Just make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to you, as long as it is sports and as long as it is Arsenal related. We definitely dedicated, as long as it is Arsenal related. Otherwise, make your point, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you do not miss out on whatever we've got to bring to us.